But be aware, because we are not of the religion, most people in the United States are Christian of some variety or another, we tend to be ethnocentric and think they're all like that. And it's like trying to blame the Second World War on Christianity. They're all Christians. Huh? I mean, Islam is an incredibly complex, huge religion. Okay, let me ask you a question about that, see if you get this one right. What country has the largest number of Muslims?
Indonesia, 130.
Rats. You're no fun at all. Because people always try and say, well, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, someplace always in the Middle East. And it's true, Islam originates in the Middle East. But you're right, it's Indonesia. Thanks a lot. But Indonesia is located where? Not in the Middle East. Where is it?
Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia. Yeah, Indonesia is a very large population. It's an archipelago. It's a stretch of islands. Java, all of these other kinds of islands. And Indonesia has the largest number of Muslims of any country on earth. Okay. What is, of the major religions, which one is the oldest?
Judaism.
Judaism. Well, it depends on which one you're asking, because of the fact that all of them can originate at the same time. We don't have a history records to prove which one really originated correctly.
But we do have some records. Some of the stuff you can actually use carbon-14 to. Some of it you can actually take a look at the surrounding relics you find in digs and that kind of stuff. And as best we can tell, the world's oldest religion is not Judaism. It is? No, not Buddhism. Hinduism. The varieties of religion that then became Hinduism. Hinduism, maybe best we can tell, is the oldest of the major religions. Major religions. One more time, of the major religions. How come I'm emphasizing that?
Because of the fact that the other religions have died out.
Because there is one other religion that we know of. We know for a fact is older than Hinduism, but it's a very, very minor, very small religion. You know
Is it from the Middle East?
No. It was originally eventually goes to the Middle East because it's spread throughout the entire world. Anywhere there were human beings, at least. What's it called? Anybody guess?
Pagan?
Well, people call that pagan is a term that Christians use to refer to any other religion besides monotheism. Now, I'll give you, here's the hint. People in this country practice it before the white boys arrived.
Native American.
Native American religion, yes. What is it called? What?
Animism?
Very good. It's animism. Very good. Animism. Animism is the worship of what?
The land.
Well,
Animal.
well, animals, more generally, nature. Worship of nature. Animism is the indigenous religion of hunter-gatherers. If you have read that article on the Lenskys, you should know by now what is the oldest society in human history, the one that's been around the longest period of time. Hunter-gatherers. It predates our species. Homo erectus. A predecessor of our species. Were they hunter-gatherers? Yes, they were. This goes back hundreds of thousands, probably maybe even 1 million years or so. Our early ancestors all were hunter-gatherers. And the religion of hunter-gatherers is animism. Therefore, by deductive reasoning and the evidence, the oldest religion of any is animism, which is simply the worship of nature. Okay. So, wouldn't you think that would make a pretty cool test question? Which of the following is the oldest religion of any major one? What's the answer?
Hinduism.
Which of the following is the oldest religion of any religion? Animism. Okay, good. Good. All right, so Hinduism is the oldest of the major world religions. People always think Judaism just because it gives rise to what other religions? Christianity and
Islam.
Islam. Yeah. Christianity and Islam. Okay. Hinduism is to what religion as Judaism is to Islam and Christianity? Buddhism. Good. Yes. Hinduism gives rise to Buddhism. Both share a concern with a state of being called nirvana. For Hindus, this state of pure spirituality is arrived at through a process of death and reincarnation. As you go through that process, at each life you go through, you become hopefully more purified, more spiritual, and you move up. If you don't, you move down, and you could come back as a cow. And that's why it's not cow worship. People say they worship cows in India. They don't worship cows. It's just that if you've in this life, you can come back something lower even than a human being, and therefore, okay. But that goal is a state of nirvana. You're supposed to move up the hierarchy. You start off as a Dalat, which is the untouchables, and then eventually you become a Brahmin, which are the religious leaders. And if you're a really good Brahmin and contemplate all this kind of stuff, then you won't come back again. You'll obtain this state of pure nirvana, which is a kind of spirituality. Buddhism comes along by a Hindu prince and says, here's an idea. I bet we can obtain nirvana within a single lifetime through self-purification and ritual performance. Yeah, Buddhism agrees that there is a state called nirvana, but if you follow the teachings, and all that Buddha is just a teacher, follow his lessons, you can obtain this state of pure spirituality in which you are no longer of the world, but you are still in the world, a state of egolessness, a detachment from the things around you, and you've attained nirvana in a single lifetime. Now, as Buddhism moves out of India, the farther away you get from India, the more it takes on the indigenous religions of that area. Now, Hinduism also has a belief not merely in reincarnation, but in gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses. The Tibetan Buddhism it's fairly similar to Hinduism, particularly in the notion of reincarnation. But you get farther into northern and western Asia, then that varieties of Buddhism takes on more things like the local religions like Taoism and this kind of thing. So at any rate, and in some cases, you remove any sense of gods or goddesses, and it's just this state of nirvana that's the key, particularly in China, Japan, those areas. The whole notion of gods and goddesses that are so important for Hinduism, this doctrine of reincarnation, actually disappeared in some of these here, and the only remaining feature is this doctrine of nirvana, which you obtain through self-purification in a single lifetime. Okay. Oh, what's that? What country has the largest number of Hindus? India. Okay. Country with the largest number of Buddhists?
China.
Yeah, China. Once again, even though only 20% of the Chinese population are Buddhists, that's still a hell of a lot of people. Okay, China. What country has the largest number of Jews?
America. Israel, technically.
You are getting starting to piss me off. Yeah, you got all of it. yeah, you're doing really well. Everybody always thinks immediately Israel.
America.
The United States has more Jews in it than Israel does. There are more Jews living in the United States than Israel. But if you're talking as a percentage of the population, yeah, obviously Israel. But in absolute numbers, there are more Jews living in the United States than in Israel. But here's a curious fact. This is the smallest of the world's religions. But these are the largest and the fastest growing. How come these are so big and fast growing? This is so small and not growing much at all.
Because of their belief system.
Good. What part of it?
Judaism believes that both Muhammad and Jesus were prophets, but that they're not true prophets, while Islam believes that Muhammad was a true prophet, Christianity believes that Jesus was a true prophet.
Okay, but how does that make it small?
Because they want to believe that the prophet has already come.
No. Yeah, you're trying, making a good effort. No, it's not it. Yeah. I know you're going to get it.
Judaism treats religion as their national culture, or it's something that they believe that is you're born into and you live through as that, and you're automatically, and you have to be already in that.
Okay. One word in that conversation is most important. The word is born. I'm sorry. Alan. You know, it'd be nice to put them with whole.
Yeah,
Because you're answering a lot of questions. I feel bad I don't remember your name. Okay, Alan, so give me, why is Judaism so small and the other one's so large?
Well, I was going to say something completely different.
That's okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, does that have to do with anti-Semitism?
You might think that. No, but that's not the main reason. Yeah. How come Judaism is so small? Hitler, 6 million butchered. Hello? Yeah. No, but that's not probably the main reason. Here's the hint. You hear a knock at the door, and you look out the window, and there stands a guy in a suit and a tie and a woman in a nice dress. What do you immediately think? What?
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons. Exactly. How come?
There's an emphasis on spreading the religion.
They're spreading the religions. That term is called a proselytizing religion. For any good Christian, and which both Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons are, they're both varieties of Christianity. For any good Christian, who should be a Christian?
Everyone.
Everybody. For any good Muslim, who should be a Muslim? Everybody. For any good Jew, who should be a Jew? Somebody who has a Jewish mother. When was the last time you heard that knock on the door and you looked out there and somebody was standing in a suit and a tie with a yarmulke on saying, "Hi, we're from Temple Beth Israel. We're here to share the joy"? No, you haven't. And you're not gonna either. Because Judaism is not a proselytizing religion. For Jews, who should be a Jew? Only people who are born Jewish. And the key is your mom. It's a matrilineal religion. That means it follows the mother. If your dad is Jewish and your mom is Catholic, are you Jewish?
No.
No. You may be raised Jewish, but technically, you're not. But if you reverse that, if your dad is Catholic and your mom Jewish, are you Jewish? Yes. I have an interesting friend. Her dad was African American and her mom Jewish. Okay, what is she? She's Jewish. Of course, she looks African. She was in the Black Panthers. Okay, her son is really interesting. Her son, she's Jewish, therefore her son gets born. He's now a devout Muslim. And he's not wild about telling his friends that technically he is also what? Jewish. Okay. That's the way it works for Judaism. You know, you're born Jewish. Now, there is the ability to convert in Judaism, but that's a minor adaptation to an aggressively proselytizing world. You know, these are two religions that really want everybody on the team. And Judaism has had to face that, and so they've been forced to include proselytizing, not proselytizing, but conversion. They're not about proselytizing, but they will allow conversion. If you marry somebody who's Jewish, then not sometimes, even if you're a female, you would convert to Judaism so that Judaism is part of the family structure. Okay, anyway. All right, so we've talked about the world's major religions, and there's about 5 of them, but we can reduce them to 3 categories. What are the categories?
Monotheistic.
Okay, what do these 3 share in common? Yes. One thing.